was old and
That was it. That was enough of the anthem, don't you think, Karen?
Oh my gosh, it was. I was just getting into it, Krista. Come on now.
Start singing.
Caleb probably hasn't even heard our song. We produced a song several years ago. It's pretty rad.
That is pretty great.
Yeah. It talks about how great it is to shoot like a girl, but also to be a woman and appreciate the men around us. So we appreciate you, Caleb. We are so lucky. Hey, everybody, I hope y'all are having a great day. It's been a great day for us, and we are very lucky because we have Caleb from Taurus here. And we're going to get to know Caleb a little bit and hear all the great thing that Taurus is doing this year. It's just fantastic what's happening. So Caleb, would you please introduce yourself?
Yeah. So for people who don't know me, my name's Caleb Giddings. I'm the general manager of marketing for Taurus USA. I've been in the firearms industry for a much longer time than I, realized, because I still feel like this is all new and exciting, but I've been doing this since I've been doing it part-time since 2006 now. And then that was when I got my first part-time writing gig. Before I had this job with Taurus, I've been mostly on the content creation side, but I've also worked in gun stores. I still teach open enrollment shooting classes. I am a competitive shooter. I shoot IDPA, USPSA, Steel Challenge, a lot of the other sports, and that's actually how I got started. I was shooting competitively and I wanted to fund my ammo habit. So I started writing magazine articles to help pay for ammo. But yeah, and now I've been doing this for a while, and I've landed with Taurus, and I've really enjoyed the last almost 2 years that I've been there now, just working on new product development, marketing initiatives, and I get to work with really cool people like you guys.
Awesome, Caleb. Well, thanks for joining us. Thinking about that comment you made, it's kind of hard to believe as an adult this is what our job is. This is supposed to be one of those first jobs that you get when you roll out and you're a young adult. But as I've aged, I've actually rolled into this job, and that just is phenomenal. I can't believe it.
It is, isn't it?
So we have Taurus on both the Shoot Like a Girl and the Safe Living trailer at our gun bar. And for those of you that may not have been to our trailer before, we have a gun bar attached to our experience that has our partners' deactivated firearms on them. And that allows you to kind of really learn about that firearm, put it in your hand, work all the features and functions without any restrictions on covering the trigger or anything like that. You just can't go bang because it can't shoot live ammo. And this allows you to kind of see what it feels like. And so when we met with Caleb at SHOT Show back in January, we were talking about what should we have on the trailer for 2024 as the Taurus offering. And if you know anything about Taurus, they've got lots of awesome new things out. And we came up with one of the options being the 327 Defender T.O.R.O. And I have some questions about what we called that, but that's one of the things we really want to focus on today. So let's start there. Caleb, can you share with us a little bit about that revolver specifically and why it'll be a great fit for the trailer?
Yeah, absolutely. So the Defender series are our lineup of 3-inch barrel defensive revolvers. We have them in 357 Magnum as a 5-shooter, and then 38 Special as a 6-shot. And then we added the T.O.R.O, that's our Taurus Optics Ready option lineup, to those last year. And then this year, we'd had this project in the works for a while, but we wanted to add a Defender series 327 Federal Magnum. So what 327 Fed Mag does is it allows you to keep the cylinder the same width as a 5-shot 357, but you get an extra round in there. So you get 6 shots of 327 versus 5 shots of 357. And then the other super cool capability of a gun that's chambered in 327 Federal Magnum is the ability to shoot 32 Magnum, 32 long, and 32 short as well. So 327 Fed Mag can actually be a bit of a handful. I was just out shooting it earlier today. But when you go down to something like a 32 Magnum or even a 32 long, you end up with a gun that is essentially, I mean, the recoil is on par with a 22. If you're shooting like a small frame 22, you're dealing with about the same recoil that you're getting out of a 32 mag or a 32 long out of the 327 T.O.R.O.
Wow. Okay, you answered one of the questions for me, which was what the T.O.R.O stood for.
Oh yeah, Taurus optics ready option, and that's across all of our product lines. So semi-automatic pistols and revolvers. If you see a Toro in that product description, that means you can mount an optic on it.
So that's interesting. Let's talk about that because it's not something we see or think about very often as having an optic on a revolver. So how does that work in terms of, is it just the same as if you put it on a semi-automatic pistol, or can you explain that a little bit?
Sure. Well, actually, in my opinion, it's actually a little bit better than mounting it on a semi-automatic pistol because, unlike an automatic pistol, a red dot mounted on a revolver doesn't reciprocate, right? So when I'm shooting, a GX4 or a G3 Toro or something like that, every time I pull the trigger, the dot moves, right? Like the optic cycles with the slide and it moves, and that makes dot tracking, a more difficult skill. With the Toro revolvers, the dot doesn't slide, it doesn't go back and forth. So the only movement that you get in the dot is going to be because of recoil.
Okay, that has sent me to a new realm of thought. So anybody that follows, y'all already know that Karen and I have these great intentions of staying on task, and then we go way off into la la land. And my journey into red dot has been in 2023. I mean, honestly, it's been around. It's one of those things I've been trying to do, trying to accept, trying to understand how to use it, but fighting and finding it has been a challenge for me. And now I'm thinking what you just described might help with some of what I battle. Like, I don't know if it would help with all of it, but the fact that it's not moving on the slide and adding that piece of movement for me to find it again in that piece might be helpful. So my brain is now stuck in red dot world.
No, yeah, and I mean it makes perfect sense. I was shooting one of our Art 327s, and I had a 32 long load in it from Buffalo Bore. And, obviously I have a level of fundamentals here that some people don't have, but with a good grip on the gun, even as fast as I can pull the trigger, the dot wasn't even lifting out of the window. So I would watch it and it would track up to kind of to the top of the window, and then it would settle right back down into the target. So, you get that, it generally helps with people who struggle with dot tracking and things like that. And it becomes a great dry fire tool as well, because if I'm dry firing this revolver with the dot on it, the dot's going to give me a lot more granular feedback than I'm going to get from watching the front sight post.
Right. There's a lot of, and so I've got couple questions on this, and then we'll move on because I know there's lots to talk about. But so one of the things that sometimes people struggle with a revolver, especially if it has a heavy trigger, is that it just keeps riding up. Like, so you shoot and you're always shooting high. And so I think it's great that this is a caliber that people will be able to really focus and concentrate on those fundamentals. Like you say, it all goes back to fundamentals of shooting. So I'm excited for that. I'm really question on ammo. So one of the challenges that I think new shooters have is that ammo has all these isms that this matches this and that matches that. So on and then we teach people, make sure that your ammo matches what's stamped on the barrel. So how do people know like which all of those ammos that are reciprocal to your firearm are going to be?
So with the that's a great question. With the 327 Federal Magnum, obviously, if it says 327 Federal Magnum, because that's what's on the barrel, is going to be, that's going to be good to go. But then if it says 32 H&R Magnum or 32 Magnum, that's going to be good to go as well. And if we're being honest, those are the only two mainstream calibers that most people are going to encounter, right? Like, you have to go hunting to find 32 Smith & Wesson long, and you have to hunt even harder to find 32 short. So, you're going to really have to work for that. The only potential area of risk, and it's not physical risk or actual danger, is if somebody buys one of these guns and buys 32 ACP, the semi-automatic pistol cartridge. This gun will actually fire it. It'll chamber it and it'll fire it because the 32 ACP is a semi-rimmed cartridge. But what'll happen is you'll probably get an ejector override. You'll get inconsistent ignition because it's head spacing off this small rim versus versus head spacing off a larger rim for like a 32 mag. So really the best bet to get the right ammo for this is to either buy 327 Federal Magnum or 32 Magnum. And there's a lot of good, outlets for that, where if you search for 32 Magnum or 32 H&R Magnum, they'll be able to help you out. That's my go-to carry around in this is a 32 H&R Magnum load from Federal. It's an 85 grain jacketed hollow point.
Great.
So that's actually very valuable information, because I was going to ask about that 32 ACP that we see in semi-automatic, having seen that before with other shooters. Could it cross over? So thank you for that share. I'm going to ask
Yeah, absolutely.
one step a little further. For all of our new and novice shooters that follow us that just heard you say something really fancy and exciting, can you explain to them in very basic terms why, again, that 32 ACP is not the best choice for this revolver?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to try. Let me think about this.
I know it's a test.
No, it's a good
to
test, because I'm a big believer that if you can't explain something to an 8-year-old, you're not actually an expert. And so the revolver, our revolver is designed so that when you drop the cartridge in, it uses the rim of the cartridge to properly space it out in the cylinder so that the firing pin has enough travel to make it go off. The 32 ACP has a small rim, which is not the same diameter or thickness as a 32 Magnum or a 327 Magnum. So it will sit in the cylinder, but when you try to eject it, the ejector may skip over the small rim. And when you go to fire it, it may not be spaced to the right distance for the firing pin to get you consistent ignition. You're not going to blow the gun up. It's a much lower pressure cartridge than 327 Magnum or even 32 Magnum. But what could happen again is you could end up with fired cases stuck in the gun, or light primer strikes, and then you've got the possibility of hot loads and things like that. So you really just want to avoid using you want to avoid using it in your 32 Magnums or 327 Magnums.
That was fabulous. Thank you.
Thanks.
Will be greatly appreciated by all that are watching. All right. Any more on the 327, Karen? Because I want to talk about that new, fun, exciting thing that we saw launch at SHOT Show. We got to see it and we got to touch it. And that is the new Taurus rifle.
Yes. So the Expedition, and that's it's funny, I don't even have one yet. That's how hard they are to get. So we did our first rifle, well, not our first rifle, we've actually had rifles under Taurus before. Years and years ago we had the Taurus Thunderbolt, and we've had some pistol caliber carbines. But one of the things that people don't know is that Taurus Holdings, what's my email address? Taurus Holdings Inc. Taurus Holdings Incorporated. We're actually a family of companies, right? So in that we have Taurus USA, we have Rossi USA, and we have Heritage Manufacturing. And under Rossi, we've made rifles before. So there is a cultural, it is in our culture. It's something that we've done before. We've just never done a bolt gun before. And this year we launched the Expedition. We're launching it in 308. It's got an 18-inch barrel. They're all threaded. The barrels are cold hammer forged, so they're super durable, super accurate. When we were testing some early prototypes, we took one and we shot a sub MOA group with it at 100 yards. Then we took it, that same gun, ran 2,000 rounds of 308 through it, and then we shot another sub MOA group with it at 100 yards after trying to burn the barrel up. So the guns are super durable. They look cool. They're built around the Remington 700 action. So if you've got mounts for a 700, if you want to change it out for a Remington 700 trigger, you can. And the really neat party piece on it, and I encourage people to check this out on the website, or when you see one in your store, check it out, is the stock. The stock is designed with hunters in mind. It was designed really, when you look at the design philosophy behind the rifle, our CEO, Brett, is a big time hunter, right? He's hunted every continent except Antarctica, loves to hunt. And we wanted to build a gun that he would take on a hunt with him. So he had significant design input in this process as well. And that's why you see things on the gun where the stock is planed off on the side, so you can clamp it in a gun saddle without it rocking side to side. It has an M-LOK attachment on the bottom, so you can put an Arco rail on it, and it even has a built-in Spartan Precision bipod attachment. So if you know what those things are, that's really cool. And then you look at the price point of it, where our MSRP is under $1,000, so our street price is going to be around $750, $800 for an MOA, for a sub MOA gun that has all these really cool built-in features to it.
It's awesome. And we got to see it in person. We'll add a link into the comments so that people can reference back and see it, at least on the internet, while it's waiting to come out and see in the stores in their local area. Karen,
that's right. When can people expect to see that in the stores?
Soon, is so as soon as we can get them made, basically. So they're in production right now in Brazil. They're trickling them into the United States as we speak, and then they're just, it is a complex rifle to make. It takes a little bit more time to churn out, a few of those than it does to churn out G3 compacts, obviously. So, but we'll have them full launch. They'll definitely be fully readily available before hunting season, with plenty of time before hunting season, so people can get them zeroed and all of that stuff before you go up into your deer stand with it.
That's pretty cool. Well, I'm excited for hunting season already, but I want to get to turkey season first.
Oh yeah, I have a turkey
around the corner.
I know.
I'm super excited. I don't know if you can tell, but I kind of like turkey hunting. Caleb, really appreciate your time today. It's so nice to have you come on and talk to us. Let us get to know you a little bit better and talk about your product. So you guys come to see the trailer. Sorry, I'm stuttering a little bit. I don't know what's going on. Come to the trailer, check out the Taurus revolver. You're going to love it. We can't wait to see y'all. We're going to be in Daytona next week for the Daytona 500.
Fun.
I know. We're right across the street at Bass Pro Shops, which literally across the street. We can hear the race from the store. We'll be in that parking lot. So come on down and
great.
There. Then we're going to be at the grand opening for 5 days from Wednesday to Thursday of Westchester, Ohio. And those dates are
the 21st to the 28th.
Yeah.
Something like that.
28th
through a Sunday.
Yep. And we're just super excited to get this show on the road. Thanks for your time. Is there anything that you'd like to say that we didn't give you an opportunity to say about yourself or Taurus?
No, just, if people want to follow Taurus, they can check us out on, follow us on social media, follow us on taurususa.com. And then I post a lot of content about our guns, about performance shooting and all of that stuff on my Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Caleb Shooting. So if people want to follow that, there's a lot of product education and a lot of fun shooting stuff. So.
Awesome. Thank you. And when you come to the trailer, we'll have the 327 Toro on there soon. Right now, we've got the GC3, the GX4, and the GX4 carry. And I think we talked about also the future swapping something out and putting that TX22 compact on there.
Yes. Oh, we need to get you one of those. That's for sure.
An exciting thing to shoot. So, Caleb, again, thank you for your time today. And we look forward to seeing everybody really soon.
Enough to walk, gotta learn how to live off the land. Folks taught me to hunt and fish.